Hello there, my Bible 10 friends. If you are at the point where you are working on your historical background section, then that means you have already read your text a lot because you did that close reading and you understand more or less what's going on. But still, if we're going to truly understand the text well, we need to understand what are the things going on behind the words. And so this is the reason we have the historical background text. One of the first places you're going to want to start after having read your text again to refresh your memory what you're reading about is to open up in your Kindle app the IVP Bible Background Commentary. Now, the IVP Bible Background Commentary, if you don't remember, it should be in your library, and it looks like this book right here. Now, depending on which text is yours, the easiest way I found to navigate two different texts is to tap on the screen, hit the hamburger menu, the three lines, and then scroll down. Now, there is a lot of scrolling, but fortunately, we are in the Gospels, so it's going to be one of the first four books. So all of this is Matthew, and then you hit Mark, and then you hit Luke, and then you hit John. And so I'm going to be doing a passage that none of you guys are doing. I will be doing Jesus' rejection in his hometown in Mark chapter 6, just to kind of walk you through the process so that you can see what this looks like. So, since I've already read the text and I already know what's going on here, I would just open up this book, the Bible Background Commentary, and then it's going to be very clear. I'm going to then read this entire section on Mark 6, 1 through 6, and all the way through here. I'm only highlighting just so you can see how far I'm reading. Now, when I read this stuff, it says the Old Testament often reiterates the principle of the prophet without honor, Jeremiah, Moses, and Joseph, and so forth. And since I've read the text, I know that this is something that Jesus says to the people in his hometown, that a prophet is without honor in his hometown. In 6:3, Jesus called a carpenter. Well, he's called that because, and we get all of this historical information, right? Now, if you're like, okay, well, what do I do with all of this? Literally, your historical background section of the Exegesis paper is just to give the reader all of the pertinent information before you get into your explanation of the text. And so I've got my Word document here. And so I would write out things like this. Old Testament theme of rejected prophets like Moses, Joseph, Jeremiah, and others. Now notice, I'm not just copying and pasting from the Bible Background Commentary, because if you just copy and paste, the whole section is going to be one big giant quote. So we've got the Old Testament theme of rejected prophets. And then if I go back to the book, then I see Jesus is called a carpenter. In AD 6, early in Jesus' childhood, Sepphoris, the Galilee's capital, was the most prominent city, had been destroyed by the Romans, and they had to begin rebuilding it. Okay, so Jesus may have been a carpenter because of the need to rebuild Sepphoris, which was destroyed. Now, here's the thing. All of this is coming straight from a source that is not just my brain, right? So what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to cite this stuff. And so if you are in the Kindle app and you tap on the bottom left-hand corner, you can toggle between page numbers or percentages or locations. And so page 141. And so the IBP Bible Background Commentary is written by Craig Keener. So you're going to write Keener 141. If you're like, wait, but I haven't even written the paragraph yet, that's fine. But if you have the citation there already, it's going to be way easier than writing your essay and being like, oh shoot, where did I get this? And having to hunt forever, right? I also got this from Keener 141. What you will do is you'll go through the IVP Bible Background Commentary and make sure you read carefully and understand everything that Craig Keener points out about the text to make sure that you are able to explain some of these historical background pieces. Now, in addition to that, one other piece that I will say that you should do in your historical background section is make sure that you're also seeing what it says in your gray Bibles. So in the class, feel free to go grab one of the student study Bibles. And in the gray Bible, you'll notice that Mark chapter 6, down here, there are a ton of notes under the bottom. This is why we got these. Bibles is because these study Bibles actually help us understand some of the stuff down here. Um, so you can use this as well to get some more information about what is potentially the meaning or understanding behind these texts, and explain that here in historical background. One caution that I'm going to give you is that as you are doing this, make sure that you're not prematurely jumping into application, which some of the stuff in the study Bible might do. It might say stuff like, which means that we as Christians should blah, 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 blah. You're not doing that yet. That's at a later section in your essay. So look for, if you're using your gray Bibles, look for stuff that helps explain historical, cultural, religious, geographical information about the text. If you want to see what this looks like, after you've written all of this stuff out, you will then smooth over the edges. So, like, if let's just imagine I only have these two ideas that I'm communicating, I would smooth these edges out by saying things like, in Mark 6, Jesus talks about being rejected as a prophet. This is a common Old Testament theme of rejected prophets that include people like Moses, Joseph, Jeremiah, and others. Also, Jesus is referred to as a carpenter in the text, and he may have been a carpenter because of the need to rebuild Sepphoris, which was destroyed. So notice I add transition words. I fill in the gaps of why am I talking about carpenters? Oh, because in the text Jesus is referred to as a carpenter. Why am I talking about Old Testament themes of rejected prophets? Oh, because Jesus in this text is rejected as a prophet. So in the historical background section, you will give your reader the reason, the thing in your text that anchors why you're talking about the thing, and then explain that historical phenomenon. Right? Jesus is talked about as being rejected. This is a common Old Testament theme. Jesus is called a carpenter. He might have been a carpenter because of history, right? And when you have finished this, you'll notice that your essay will look a little something like this. Zach Johnston, a few years back, wrote this essay on the Jesus walking on water passage. I'm not using this as the sample because some of you might be doing this one, where he just dives right in. Jesus' action of walking on water is significant. Here's why. And then he talks about passing by, and here's where that word comes up. And it's possible that he was trying to talk about this, right? He gets as much information across as possible while also trying to smooth over some of the edges. Now, in smoothing over some of the edges, I will give you one caution. In the background section, there's no room for fluff. So while you will use words like furthermore or also or another important fact and things like that, you do not need to make it fluffy. If you make it fluffy, then the important pieces of information can get lost. It's like eating a hamburger with too much bread, that you never get the meat, right? And so make sure that as you're writing your essay, that it's just like, you'll notice that as you read through this, like almost every single line has a citation, and it's because it's just information. So be sure to hammer the historical background information in this section. Include anything about the region that it happened in, and include things about who were the people that were present, some of the words that are used. And Craig Keener, your gray Bibles will be great for that. If they don't have all of that information, then you can go ahead and search up some of the terms that you highlighted in your close reading. You may have like included the term serpents, and then you can like do a Google search of why are serpents significant in the Bible. But I would just caution you to make sure that you're using good resources, not just whatever blog or Quora post comes up first. Hope that helps. Good luck writing your historical background section. Use your time wisely.